Hey everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to the Division 2, and welcome to April, everybody. Now this is a few days late, right? April 1st happened back on Tuesday. Of course, we had the April Fool's stuff happening in-game, which we covered, if you want to go check that out. It was also the weekly reset day, so just tons of general hecticness. But I wanted to get this video out towards the beginning of April, because the turning of the calendar from March to now April has bigger significance in the Division world than you may realize. Not only has this marked the start of a new fiscal year for Ubisoft, and that has big implications for the long-awaited Division Resurgence mobile spinoff, but we also know that this month is bringing major Division 2 news for the Battle for Brooklyn DLC and Year 7 content, with strong suggestions that it may be presented in a Division Day style event like we had back in 2023. And if so, that could then suggest even wider franchise announcements. So I know that's a lot, but I want to break it all down and let you know my thoughts. We'll get right to it. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more from me in the future breaking down everything with the Division 2, then I hope you will consider clicking that subscribe button if you've not already. We'd love to have you around. But without further ado, let's go. Alright, so let's tackle these things one by one, shall we? As always, there will be chapters down in the description in case you want to skip around to the various stories here we're talking about. But let's start with the Division Resurgence, right? We don't talk about this game all too much. There's not a ton of reason to, since there's not a lot of news on it. And I'm sure many of you are curious on what the status of this game's development and potential release is. Now, this game has had quite the odd marketing cycle, right? Ubisoft pushed it hard for a late 2023, early 2024 release date back in the day, and then suddenly, kind of out of nowhere, that just got indefinitely postponed. They said, we're going to keep working on it, we'll let you know when we have more information. Despite that odd delay, the development team has remained pretty adamant that development continues on the title, and currently they are hiring for tons and tons of roles on the dev team. They have been for the past few months. We finally ended up getting word on a release window after that indefinite delay from Ubisoft in an investors call last year, where they said Rainbow Six Mobile and the Division Resurgence are no longer expected in fiscal year 25, as the teams are taking the necessary time to ensure that these experiences deliver on expectations with optimized KPIs in the context of a demanding yet very large market. So I know that's a lot of jargon there. Really, the only important part is the calendar expectation that they set, where they say those games are going to release after fiscal year 25. Something you have to remember is that a fiscal year does not line up with a calendar year as we know them. So for Ubisoft, one fiscal year runs from April 1st of any given year to March 31st of the next. And so what that means is that as of April 1st, 2025, a few days ago, we are now in the fiscal year 25 to 26 window, which means the Division Resurgence could once again be releasing now at any time. And this is backed up that they're moving towards giving us some additional news and announcements by the developers. The comdev on the title, James, recently stated in the game's Discord server that he pushed for a roadmap to be shared sooner. That was unfortunately shot down, but he does confirm that they are, quote, currently working on an update for you guys in the months to come. Of course, the question everyone wants to know is, well, when is that actually going to be? And that is a perfect segue into our next topic here, the April 23rd event, or Division Day 2, maybe? Let me explain. So, heading into this month, we know that a big Division event is happening on Wednesday, April 23rd, and that was announced in the Division 2's anniversary video posted last month.
Stay tuned for more Battle for Brooklyn updates, as well as Year 7 plans, coming on April 23rd.
If you were unaware, back in 2023, Ubisoft hosted something that was called Division Day. It was a broadcasted, pre-recorded stream with some very big news and reveals from across the franchise, right? The Division 2, the Division Heartland, at the time, rest in peace, the Division Resurgence, and Transmedia projects. It went over pretty well. I mean, it was a popular event, but due to some external circumstances, likely the fact that the Division Heartland was on the brink of cancellation, they didn't end up doing one of these in 2024, and there's been no mention of them doing one this year, or doing one ever again right after that first one. Yet here's what's interesting. That last Division Day in 2023 happened on Thursday, April 20th. And now we have them marketing this event that's seemingly on a very random date of Wednesday, April 23rd. My question is, why pick that date, so random, yet so close, if it's not going to be a Division Day 2.0? Now look, I'm not going to make any claims that they have suggested this other than that coincidental date. I can't back up that this might be a Division Day event, but it just seems kind of likely, all things considered. I covered many of the reasons for this and the potential project updates that we could get should this be a Division Day event in this video. That was before we knew that the anniversary event in March March would basically just be an advertisement for this April event, which is kind of what it ended up being. So if you want some greater details there talking about what we might see, I'll link that in the upper corner and down in the description. But the short version there is that beyond just the Division Resurgence, there's a chance that we could get updates on the long-awaited webtoon project, the Netflix film that has been in development by Ross and Thurber for a long time. There's a chance they could even drop a sliver of Division 3 news, right? You never know. All we do know is that on April 23rd, news for the Division 2 is on the way. Personally, I expect to get a full trailer and a release date for the Battle for Brooklyn DLC. I think that very likely is going to be in Year 7 Season 1 in June, when this current season ends. And then additionally, we know that a Year 7 reveal and very likely a roadmap for it is coming, and I'm very curious about this. I talked about it a little bit in some prior videos, but this is truly like the first new roadmap for the Division 2 since Division Day back in 2023. And why I say that is that if you look at that original Year 5 roadmap, Year 5 Season 4, which was an update that we never actually ended up getting once they shifted their calendar, that was going to include one endgame, Seasons 2.0, and the Brooklyn DLC. And what Year 6, this current year that we're playing, ended up being was them stretching that one update out across an entire year, because they simply bit off more than they could chew with getting that all out in a single update. Right, in Season 1 we got one endgame, Season 2 we got Seasons 2.0. This season we were meant to get the DLC, but it got pushed yet again. And so with Year 7, if the DLC really is launching with Season 1, after that, that is finally the first time that we're going to get some new stuff to think about, speculate on, theorize on for what is coming for the future of the game. And I'm just really curious to see what the devs' vision for the Division 2 is now that they can move on from these big pillar revamps of Project Resolve, one endgame, and Seasons 2.0. I've talked about in some recent videos the positive momentum that the game seems to have going for it right now, and I truly think that this April 23rd event could capitalize on that big time. Of course, it's all dependent on what they actually show and if what is shown is received well, but if players like it enough, then that could set us up for some pretty awesome months to come for the Division. We'll see. My friends, that is all I have for you in this one today. Really, I just wanted to cover some of the notable events and the significance of us reaching April this year for the Division franchise. After hearing everything laid out like that, I would love to get not only your guys' reactions and thoughts to this video, but your predictions on what is going to happen for the rest of April. Particularly with that April 23rd event, do you think it is something that is going to more closely reflect Division Day from 2023, right, where we get updates on not only the Division 2 but the franchise at large? Or do you think it is going to stay smaller in scope and just focus on the Division 2? Would love to know your thoughts on that down below. That's going to do it for me though, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.